Floyd Mayweather, once celebrated as the highest-paid athlete in the world, now finds himself at the center of a financial storm that threatens the empire he spent decades building. His story is one of extraordinary success, marked by a boxing career that saw him retire undefeated, coupled with a lifestyle of unmatched extravagance: private jets, luxury cars, sprawling mansions, and a penchant for flaunting cash. Yet, recent reports paint a starkly different picture: a $750 million fortune reportedly frozen or seized, mounting legal complications, and whispers of mismanagement that have left his legacy teetering on the edge. Mayweather, however, remains defiant, insisting his wealth is intact, his property secure, and his legal team poised to resolve any issues. But the cracks in his financial foundation are hard to ignore, raising questions about how someone who earned hundreds of millions could face such a precipitous downfall. Mayweather's rise to fame was built on discipline, skill, and an unrelenting drive to be the best. His boxing career, spanning over 2 decades, saw him dominate opponents with a defensive style that frustrated even the most aggressive fighters. He fought and defeated legends like Oscar de la Hoya, Manny Pacquiao, and Canelo Alvarez, amassing a record of 50 wins, no losses. Each fight brought not just victories but staggering paydays, with his 2017 bout against UFC star Conor McGregor reportedly earning him over $100 million alone. That fight, a cultural phenomenon, broke pay-per-view records and solidified Mayweather's reputation as a master of both boxing and business. UFC President Dana White called it one of the biggest combat sports events ever, a testament to Mayweather's ability to turn hype into profit. Beyond the ring, Mayweather cultivated an image as Money Mayweather, a persona defined by excess. He boasted of owning 3 private jets, multiple mansions, and a car collection that included Rolls-Royces, Ferraris, and Lamborghinis. His social media was a showcase of wealth: videos of him tossing stacks of cash, boarding private jets with gold accessories gleaming, or shopping with millions in hand. In one instance, he took his grandson on a shopping spree at Neiman Marcus, proudly declaring he'd buy whatever he wants, with onlookers stunned by the sheer amount of cash he carried. Another time, aboard one of his jets, he urged others to tip their pilots generously, casually mentioning he tips thousands per flight, a not-so-subtle flex of his financial league. But Mayweather's empire wasn't built on flashy spending alone. He made strategic moves into real estate, particularly in New York City, where he claims to own 9 skyscrapers, including One Summit, one of the tallest commercial buildings in the world. In interviews, he's spoken of his partnership with S.L. Green, a major real estate firm, and credited Andrew Matias, a key figure at the firm, for mentoring him on the value of property investment. Matias once walked Mayweather through New York, pointing out buildings S.L. Green owned and explaining how real estate generates income even while you sleep, a lesson that resonated deeply with the boxer. Starting with a modest $5 million investment years ago, Mayweather expanded his portfolio, recently purchasing 62 apartments in New York for $42 million, a deal that included over 1,000 affordable housing units eligible for tax breaks under Article 9 exemptions. He's also hinted at a major casino project in Times Square in partnership with Caesars, signaling his ambition to secure long-term passive income. These investments reflect a side of Mayweather often overshadowed by his ostentatious lifestyle, a shrewd businessman who understood the fleeting nature of athletic earnings. He's spoken about the difference between athletes who earn only when active and real estate moguls who profit continuously. His real estate ventures, from skyscrapers to affordable housing, were meant to cement his wealth beyond boxing, positioning him as a player in one of the world's most competitive markets. Yet, despite these efforts, reports of financial distress have cast a shadow over his achievements. The rumors of Mayweather's financial troubles first gained traction with stories of unpaid debts and legal entanglements. One high-profile incident allegedly occurred in Dubai, where he was reportedly detained for 50 days over unpaid jewelry. Sources claim someone in his entourage stole a piece of jewelry, and despite Mayweather paying for it, authorities refused to release him until the item was returned. The story, initially shared by boxer Gervonta Davis and later corroborated by insiders, fueled speculation about his financial stability. Then came reports of IRS issues, with accusations that Mayweather dodged taxes even as he flaunted millions online. These incidents, combined with claims of bankruptcy and debts to various creditors, suggest a pattern of mismanagement that contrasts sharply with his public image. Industry figures have begun to weigh in on Mayweather's predicament. Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn, while acknowledging Mayweather's greatness in the ring, has criticized his post-retirement choices, particularly his reliance on exhibition matches against influencers and lesser-known fighters. Hearn argues these fights, while lucrative, diminish Mayweather's legacy and are driven by a need to sustain his extravagant lifestyle. When you're spending what he's spending, it's a lot of expenses, Hearn remarked, suggesting Mayweather's financial troubles stem from a cycle of overspending and the pressure to keep earning. Chael Sonnen, a former MMA fighter known for his blunt commentary, was even more direct, stating, "Floyd's problem isn't earning money, it's spending it." Sonnen described Mayweather's mansions, jets, and shopping sprees as shackles, arguing that his obsession with wealth has overshadowed the discipline that once defined him. Mayweather's response to these criticisms has been defiant. He's dismissed Hearn's comments, questioning why anyone would speak on his finances, and insisted he still owns his jets, cars, and properties. "Everything is okay," he's claimed, pointing to his tax attorney who supposedly handles everything. Yet, the persistence of negative reports, frozen assets, seized properties, and legal battles tells a different story. His continued participation in exhibition matches, which some see as beneath a boxer of his stature, only fuels speculation that he's chasing quick paydays to stay afloat. The unraveling of Mayweather's financial empire is a cautionary tale about the fragility of wealth, no matter how vast. His story echoes that of other athletes like Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, who earned fortunes only to lose them through poor financial decisions. Sonnen pointed out that boxing earnings, often inflated in public perception, are heavily taxed, leaving fighters with a fraction of their reported paydays. For Mayweather, who's said to have earned over $1 billion in his career, the math is sobering. After taxes, management fees, and his lavish spending, the money may not stretch as far as his lifestyle demands. "It doesn't matter what you made, it matters what you kept," Sonnen noted, a sentiment that cuts to the heart of Mayweather's troubles. Even Mayweather's relationships have been strained by financial disputes. His fallout with rapper 50 Cent is a striking example. Once close friends, their bond deteriorated when Mayweather, facing jail time, asked 50 Cent to manage his business, including Mayweather Promotions. Out of loyalty, 50 Cent invested over $2 million of his own money, only to find no formal business structure in place. When Mayweather was released, he allegedly ignored 50 Cent's requests for repayment, denying any knowledge of the investment. The dispute turned their friendship into enmity, with 50 Cent publicly calling out Mayweather's financial irresponsibility. "We can't fuck up the money," 50 Cent said, emphasizing the importance of trust in business, a trust Mayweather seemingly betrayed. Mayweather's public persona complicates his efforts to address these issues. His Money Mayweather brand is built on the image of limitless wealth, making it difficult for him to admit vulnerability without risking his identity. Every video of him flashing cash or boarding a jet is a performance, a way to reassure fans, and perhaps himself, that he's still on top. But the more he doubles down on this image, the more scrutiny he invites. Reports of frozen assets and seized properties aren't just financial setbacks, they're blows to the narrative he's spent years crafting. The contrast between Mayweather's past and present is stark. In his prime, he was a symbol of discipline, a fighter who outworked and outsmarted his opponents. His defensive style, often criticized as boring, was a masterclass in control, minimizing risk while maximizing reward. That same discipline was evident in his early business moves, like his real estate investments, which showed foresight and ambition. But somewhere along the way, the pursuit of wealth became an end in itself, overshadowing the qualities that made him great. As Sonnen put it, Mayweather went from chasing championship belts to chasing bank deposits, a shift that's left him cornered by his own creation. For now, Mayweather remains optimistic, insisting his legal team will resolve his issues and his assets will be restored. He continues to talk up his investments, from skyscrapers to casinos, as proof of his enduring success. But the silence of his frozen empire speaks louder than his words. Properties once flaunted as symbols of triumph now stand as reminders of what's at stake. His private jets, still a point of pride, may fly, but they can't outrun the financial pressures closing in. Mayweather's story is a reminder that wealth, no matter how vast, is not immune to instability. His boxing career was defined by invincibility, but the ring of life offers no such guarantees. The same confidence that made him a champion, his refusal to back down, his belief in his own greatness, may now be his Achilles heel, driving him to maintain a lifestyle that's increasingly unsustainable. Critics like Hearn and Sonnen see a man trapped by his own excess, fighting not for glory but for survival. Yet, Mayweather's resilience can't be discounted. He's faced doubters before and come out on top, and he may yet find a way to navigate this crisis. The world watches with a mix of fascination and concern as Mayweather's saga unfolds. His rise was a testament to what discipline and talent can achieve, but his potential fall is a warning of how quickly it can unravel. Whether he can reclaim his financial footing or whether his empire will crumble under the weight of its own extravagance remains to be seen. For now, Floyd Mayweather, the undefeated champion, is fighting a battle unlike any he's faced in the ring, one where the opponent is not another boxer, but the consequences of his own choices.